Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not gonna lie. This came completely off guard because I thought this fight was coming out tomorrow, but we're gonna be reacting to Shigaraki versus Mahito. So let's get on with this fight. Let's do this. Let's see his hands. Don't touch me. Well, who's gonna catch him hands first? Let's see. Got the nice animation. Got that animation wrong good.
Versus Mahito.
The symbol of fear versus the human disaster curse.
He's whizzed that boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze
This
their
nice
weapons,
animation.
armor,
Got the
and
Moro.
skills to find out
Got
who will
Moro.
win a death battle. Tenko Shimura was just a sweet, shy
Don't know a lot
boy
about
who
either of these
loved
series, so it's gonna be
but sometimes the hand of
cool.
fate can't abide sweet
Gonna
shy
be,
boys.
Ruthlessly beaten
knowledgeable
and abused
to
by
know-
his hero-hating
me.
father, Tenko pushed beyond his emotional limits until he activated his inherent superpower, or quirk.
It wasn't something cool like flight or super strength. In his terror, he
Okay.
accidentally killed his whole family. Well, except for dear old dad. That one was intentional.
Tenko wandered the
Abusive
streets
fathers
alone,
begin that
silently
end.
begging for someone, anyone, to help him. If only a hero was there to save him. But instead, the only open hand he found belonged to the devil.
All for one. The greatest supervillain in history.
He took Tenko under his wing, feeding a hatred of everyone and everything, and grooming him to one day lead his league of villains in destroying hero society.
With that came a new name, Tomura Shigaraki, and an absolutely nightmarish quirk, Decay. It does what it says on the tin. Anything Shiggy touches with all 5 fingers turns to dust. The perfect power for someone who just wants to destroy.
Fear
Pretty
or
menacing.
reactive
Not for that
evolution.
dorky-ass costume. I get it, hands are his thing, but come on. They just look so dumb and fake.
Oh, those aren't prosthetics. Those are real hands from his family that he killed, attached to his face, and explicitly commanded to be left there by his mentor so that he would never forget his rage.
Oh, shoot me. It's messed up. It's really messed up.
Okay.
While his use of decay started off relatively weak, it rapidly increased in power and range as Shigaraki came into his own.
Decay
Damn.
isn't even limited to whatever he's touching. Anything that touches something he's decaying also decays.
Spreading
crap.
like an all-consuming miasma that can wipe out
Yikes.
anything from an enormous tower to an entire city.
If decay reaches you, your only hope is to isolate the body part that is disintegrating before it gets to something vital.
After years of training with the greatest
Holy stick of
supervillain of all
smokes,
time,
that sounds
Shigaraki was finally put
horrible,
in charge of
holy
his
moly.
own team with one mission. He must kill his master's rival, the #1 hero, All Might.
Only to fall flat on his face.
Shigaraki was a terrible leader, quick-tempered, short-sighted, and, well,
Cringe! Oh, he's just so cringe. He uses gamer lingo unironically. He whines like a baby when things don't go his way. He's the kind of
Villain.
guy who would say normie in real life, in front of normies.
but they say defeat is the greatest teacher of all. Only through struggle could Shigaraki
Regular
manifest his
villain
dark
attitudes.
conviction.
Right as All Might's new protege, Izuku Midoriya, was coming into his own as well.
These two rivals, the inheritors of their master's blood feud, would push themselves past their own limitations.
Especially when All Might and All for One double KO'd each other, leaving Shigaraki to lead the League of Villains all by himself.
And with the stakes higher than ever before, Shigaraki stepped up. He personally battled the monstrous Gigantomachia for a month and a half straight, and conquered
Damn.
other villain organizations to create the
long
Paranormal
time.
Liberation Front. Thousands of new soldiers for his personal army.
All to impress All for One's personal quack, Dr. Ujiko, who spent months upgrading Shigaraki's body to make it
That's
more
a
like his
name.
sensei's. It might have been constant agony, but Shiggy went from Chud to Chad.
Ujiko's experimentation
Oh, boy.
vastly increased
That's not good.
Shigaraki's strength, speed, and durability, enough to match and surpass even All Might's absurd power.
Sharing
Oh, no.
All Might's power between
Oh,
them.
no. Bro, I saw that All Might versus Might Guy death battle. That's definitely something. That's something big. That is a That'd be a big power boost right there. That's not good.
You and Bakugo were able to punch an island-sized hole in a cloud that reached 24 miles into the sky. We've calculated that before to be nearly 80 million megatons
that's
of
loud too.
TNT, almost as much as the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs.
And Shigaraki can now move fast enough that his body produces hypersonic shockwaves and can even catch laser beams.
And he's tough enough to survive Star and Stripes Intercontinental Ballistic Cruise Punch. Now the new name for my penis. Move over, gigantic Omega Storm. Anyway, it also made a blast so big it showed up against the curvature of the Earth.
Though he might seem invincible, when Shigaraki's body is pushed hard enough, he will evolve into a state of uncontrollable power.
So Decay became, oh shit, more hands.
Shigaraki can spontaneously generate flesh into existence, seemingly oceans of it in an instant, whenever he wants. He can even use it as a type of armor to defend himself in close combat.
But that's nothing compared to Ujiko's greatest gift. Shigaraki wanted to be the new All for One, so what better way than the old man's quirk?
All for One's quirk, All for One, allows its user to steal and store quirks with just a touch.
And All for One has hundreds of them stored up, collected over the years.
Each quirk is connected to a memory of its user's essence in the form of a spirit, a vestige.
Kinda like a piece of their soul. They exist in this kinda psychic world in Shigaraki's body and can even act as a spiritual defense should it be invaded.
And with those vestiges came quirks like super fast healing, air blast, radio waves, flight, telekinesis, teleportation of others,
many more.
and the ability to track foes.
He can even combine multiple quirks together, like in this big-ass electric Kamehameha.
However, any vestige stolen or destroyed will also remove that quirk from Shigaraki's repertoire. They're also sentient, and some can even fight for control.
Which is when the second shoe finally dropped. Because Shigaraki also got All for One's vestige, that means All for One was now in possession of a shiny new body that he'd spent the last 15 years molding for him to take over.
Shigaraki's entire existence was planned
what does
from
that
the
never
beginning.
happen?
Why? Because All Might's previous mentor was Nana Shimura, Tenko's grandmother.
Oh, that to mess with All Might.
Oh,
that
that's
is some
not right.
next
That's not
level
right.
hating right there.
He manipulated Shigaraki's entire life, all for one purpose: to create a soul so corrupted it would grind away at All Might's perfect world, allowing All for One to take full control.
But All for One's possession wasn't complete, and Shiggy managed to fight his way back to the top, literally decaying his way through messages in the process, all to fight his rival Deku one last time.
Despite Izuku's best efforts to save him, Shigaraki was too far gone. His spirit decayed by years of venomous hatred.
And the new symbol of hope defeated the new symbol of fear, burying All for One's grudge for good.
All that Shigaraki asked was to be remembered as the heartless destroyer he was raised to be, and not the broken, angry, crying little boy he really was deep inside.
For just that one moment, though, Shiggy got in Deku the only thing he'd been denied his whole life, the one thing his lifelong nihilistic tantrum was really all about. He got a hero who tried to save him.
Wow, that's kind of a messed up life. That's psycho. That's crazy. Poor kid. Jeez.
This battle is sponsored by Robin Hood Gold.
With
Following our rule, we do not look at that. Do not look at the sponsors. We just skip over them, try to save some time. Okay, now let's see Mahito. See this Mahito
Ever
freak.
since Cain slew his brother Abel and wetted his fields with his blood, man's greatest fear has been his fellow man.
But what if this fear took on a life of its own?
What if all that negative emotion humans felt for one another spilled from their bodies and congealed, forming, over time, a living being fueled by malice, which believes in nothing but the law of the jungle?
Well, then you'd have the special grade curse with the patch face, Mahito. I've had people tell me I've become a human disaster curse when I've had too many mojitos.
Mahito is one of the deadliest beings to ever afflict mankind. He's no
few
mere
months
mortal,
old.
though,
Jeez
but a
Louise.
cursed spirit. Innumerable spirits exist, weaker or stronger, depending on the amount of anxieties, jealousies, hatreds, and fears humans feel about them.
Like the fear of locusts, kinda weak. Or the fear of smallpox, getting stronger, or the fear of fire. Oh, goodbye, Tokyo.
So it
Yes.
follows that mankind's fear of itself would be extremely powerful. Those
Yeah.
negative emotions manifest as Mahito, a being composed of cursed energy.
It's basically like evil ki. Cursed energy can be used to make spirits way stronger, faster, and tougher than any normal human. And it's invisible, making curses like Mahito impossible for the untrained eye to see. Only a
Yikes.
life or death situation can galvanize a normal person to see a cursed spirit.
That also makes
my
cursed
God.
spirits virtually immune to physical damage. They may be physically present in space, but can only be harmed by attacks that embody spirit matter.
Okay, so the curse physiology, that's you're superhuman, partially invulnerable, they're invincible, well, invisible, not invincible. They're combat adaptability, they can adapt. The curse energy can put through auto regenerative reserves, black flash, barrier technique, curtain, and binding vows, whatever that is. So I'm not gonna lie, that's interesting.
Like
I'm gonna
cursed
say
energy.
wild.
Which
Sorry.
makes curses insanely
Don't really
hard
know
to
this,
get rid of,
I,
like ghosts,
this kind of thing.
cockroaches, or my ex. That's why you need a jujutsu sorcerer to come in and kaizen the shit out of them. They
Same
call
dude,
it
Gojo.
exorcism, but I like the way I said it better.
Cursers
Sorcery
and sorcerers
battle.
have battled each other for
Okay, that's what that
millennia,
means.
waging an endless war over the fate of humanity. Almost exclusively in Japan, though, for some reason.
But Mahito was special. You see, most curses are basically dumb animals, but Mahito has so much cursed energy that it gave him sentience.
So he was recruited by Kenjaku alongside other special grade disaster curses to wreak havoc
Disaster
upon the
curses.
world. In fact, they made Mahito their leader.
And even more frightening
Probably
than
the most powerful.
intelligence and bloodlust, Mahito possessed philosophy.
Perhaps informed by
Oh,
the
boy.
tragic meaninglessness of interhuman conflict.
Where are these damn philosophers, man? We don't need any more of these guys. I mean, that they lead to good, they lead to good knowledge, but they do not lead to good well, philosophy. I mean, they're philosophers. We're saying you got some good philosophies, some bad philosophies. Can feel this guy's the bad philosophies. Okay.
Mahito is an
Crazy.
existential nihilist, believing in nothing but his own will to power. It's a
Animal.
dog-eat-dog world, and Mahito is the wolf.
Which also makes him kind of a goofball. If nothing matters,
Ugh.
why not have fun with the
Look at
slaughter? So make
Why this man got his toes out? That's nasty, man. Some shoes on, some socks, some sandals. Oh man, those are nasty looking toes.
him kind
They even look nastier in that position, bro. They got this whole long ass foot. You nasty bastard. Ugh.
of a goofball.
Yeah,
If
CJ was
nothing
right about
matters,
you.
Why not have fun with the slaughter? Really get your steps in. He loves to dig around and toy with your
Sicko.
emotions like a cartoon character before slitting your throat.
An appropriate
Oh, he
analogy,
does got
considering his curse technique, idol transfiguration.
Using his cursed energy, Mahito can control anyone's soul with just a touch, including
soul.
his own. In fact, he's so good at manipulating his own soul that you
Sounds
can't
like-
even kill the bastard without directly targeting it.
In Jujutsu Kaisen, the soul and the body share an immutable
Uh-huh.
connection. Whatever happens to the former affects the latter.
This lets Mahito squash, stretch, and shapeshift his body into literally anything he wants.
Okay, so his abilities with this idol transfiguration is soul manipulation, shape shifting for offense, reshaping the soul and bodies of opponents, and reshaping his soul to fix damage. Okay, so he's got a healing ability as well. He can clone himself, soul multiplicity, I don't know what that is, body repel, domain expansion, self embodiment of perfection, 0.2 second variation. I think that's supposed to be a part of that. Instant body for distorted killing, enhanced physicality, and exoskeleton with blades. Oh shoot, that sounds dangerous.
Like Play-Doh, he can turn his limbs into blades or clubs, grow wings like a
Yikes.
bird or fins
Oh
like
my
a
God.
fish, reform his body around injuries, or
it's a
even
shapeshifter.
create clones.
Curse users are naturally unharmed by their own ability. Should he touch a human, though, his alterations to their body
Yikes.
are
Turn board
instantly
and sword.
fatal.
And since he's attacking your soul, those physical wounds are gonna be impossible to heal.
Even if his alteration isn't directly fatal, the human body won't last more than a few moments in a transfigured state.
All that with one
Yikes.
touch. God, I thought herpes was bad.
His powers mean Mahito treats humans as effectively disposable dolls that he can gleefully experiment on. The more casualties, the better, especially if he gets to break your spirit first and watch you suffer.
Even more twisted is when he combines two transfigured humans together for soul multiplicity, essentially a giant torrent of body horror flesh that he repels at an opponent.
Mahito is unbelievably creative with his application of idol transfiguration, and despite being a newborn curse, consistently keeps experienced sorcerers on the back foot.
It helps that he's a quick study who's picked up a number of different curse techniques, like the Black Flash.
By applying cursed energy within 1 microsecond of an impact with an enemy, space itself will distort, exponentially amplifying its force by a factor of 2.5.
Not only does this hurt like a mother, it restores your curse technique and gets you fully in the zone.
And would require reflexes moving nearly 1,000 times the speed of sound. It's no surprise then that Mahito also unlocked the pinnacle of sorcerer techniques, the Domain Expansion.
Oh shit! More hands! A domain is like a barrier of cursed energy, but if you're caught inside, Mahito can use idol transfiguration instantly without even needing to touch you.
It's called the self-embodiment of perfection, the ultimate expression of Mahito's absolute control over his victim's body and soul. The only time it ever failed was against the student sorcerer and Mahito's archenemy, Yuji Itadori.
Because not only was Yuji a barf-inducing goody little two-shoes who believed in the inalienable rights of all living things, blah, 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 he also had a curse inside of him.
The king of curses, Sukuna.
Which meant Mahito's ability affected both souls in Yuji's body. Sukuna didn't like that. No surprise, and kicked Mahito's ass, forcing Patchface to fight with a handicap whenever facing his pink-haired menace.
Yuji's belief in the value of human life flew directly in the face of the world that Mahito knew to be cruel and meaningless. So he made it his mission to crush Yuji's spirit before killing him, murdering his friends, defiling their corpses, and brutally battering him before going in for the kill.
And he's got the strength to do it. Mahito's one of the most powerful curses in the world, and his growth is exponential.
Fellow disaster curse Jogo was able to summon a massive meteor capable of reducing the city of Shibuya to ash.
That'd take an energy of over 800 kilotons of TNT.
And Mahito can take as good as he can give, especially when, in the throes of struggle against Yuji, he evolved, unlocking a vastly more powerful form, the instant body of distorted killing.
Complete with armored exoskeleton and arm blades, this was a taste
of... A Black Flash in a microsecond has figured 1,000 humans in Shibuya. Survived withstanding Gojo's unlimited void for 0.2 seconds. Jeez, that sounds insane. Take numerous Black Flashes from Yuji and Todo, slammed Yuji and cratered to the ground. Defeated Nanami, Ultimate Mechamaru, Nobara, and Todo. Jeez Louise, this man sounds like he about to give Shigi the whole damn run of the fade.
Of the almighty curse Mahito was growing into, a true blight on all mankind.
It wouldn't last. In a bitter battle of resolve, Yuji won out. In a dog-eat-dog world, there was now a bigger wolf.
So he tucked tail and ran away like a bitch. And what do you know? Life suddenly became a whole lot more meaningful the second it looked like it was about to end.
All that gleeful nihilism, just a bitter hypocrisy in the end.
For him, maybe, but Mahito found a convert in his archenemy. After a battle that wiped out thousands of innocent people, Yuji's youthful spirit was gone. The only thing left that mattered was exorcising this curse.
In a way, that was Mahito's final victory, the destruction of another human being's soul. He may not have been around to see it, but the curse Mahito inflicted on the world would bring it to its knees.
Not gonna lie to you, I actually think Mahito's gonna win this because it seems like Shigaraki's main ability works on your physical body, but Mahito's works on the level of your soul. Which, like, there's a whole nother layer to like Shigaraki's main abilities. He can decay you, but he does not mean it's attacking your soul. Because the thing is, with his abilities, the way it sounds like he can only hit your physical form and just your physical. Because that's how that world works. It works more in the physical sense, unlike JJK, which seems to be more of a how do you say it, Oh, spiritual sense. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy, y'all. Like, I think Mahito's gonna clutch this stuff, but Shigaraki seems like he has a couple more stuff up his sleeve, so I don't know. Really, I do not know. I don't know.
Hey, do you see that join button? Yeah, that one. That's your ticket to being a death battle champion.
Death battle!
Okay, skipping. Getting into the fight. Let's get in this fight. And for all possibilities, got to see these fades. Oh. Oh, what the? What the? Oh my god. Nah, they just off rip started murdering people. Holy smokes. Oh, Mahito was on there. Oh, his ability to come up and see him.
Villain stalking these parts. My organization is going to tear this putrid world down around us. We could use a freak of your talents.
Little old me. Do I want to be king of the social rejects? How about I bring them your head instead?
Oh, this man talking
Fine
shit.
by me. Let's call this
Time for the
your
fight.
audition. Sickum.
Oh, they got the weird things. They got those things. Big freaks, whatever they're called. I forget what these things are called. Oh, playing them. Okay, he's doing the transfiguration.
Game over.
Okay, I think not. Uh-oh.
Did you actually just say that?
Game over. Oh, no, he's just saying that. Oh, he's got the turds. He's got the magic turds. Oh, no, he's only unhinged. He's being unhinged. Okay. Oh, this man's probably doing exploding already. That's how he's doing that. Fight him. Fight him. So fight. Ah, he's playing with this man.
Audition over.
No, no, it's not.
Did I get the
Mahito's playing with this man. Oh, they're doing the work. Oh, this is an invincible moment. No, wait, no, it's not. Oh, what the? Oh, we got the black flash. Oh, ooh. Oh, he's about to lock it in. He's about to lock in. Oh, he's got final form already. Oh, he's going final form. They're going full out. He's put his arm off. Oh, he does a black bar to the foot. He's smashing around. He's smacking you around. What does that feel?
all you got? Domain expansion.
Oh, he's on the domain. He's done. It's done. The fight's over. It's over. Oh my god, this fight over already? Is it over? Is it over?
Little boy whose daddy was mean and wants to make it everyone else's problem. Grow up.
Oh, he's on the cycle thing. What? Oh. Oh no.
Hands off my masterpiece.
Oh, wait, what?
I felt your soul too. You only hate humanity because you were born that way. Totally
Wait,
right.
no, don't run. He's running. He's running.
I hate them for a reason.
Dude, y'all got the ability to show your skull. He's like,
You grow up.
oh boy. Okay, so he couldn't deal with his soul?
What did I say, Wiz?
What?
Like a bitch.
With their complex power sets, this match was a puzzle to figure out, which is why we're breaking
that
it down
makes
to
sense.
3 categories.
I mean, I heard people were saying Shigaraki was going to take this because it was like way more physically powerful. But I did not know he had those other abilities. I was just hearing speculations from people. I don't know.
Physical stats,
Just funny.
survivability, and their powers.
Weird.
But first, let's
Interesting.
address one thing. Could Shigaraki even see Mahito? He's an invisible curse after all.
Cursed
Oh, apparently
energy
you
and
can.
quirks are notably different, and
Yeah, they
Shigaraki
are.
wouldn't be able to see curses normally. However, even regular humans can spontaneously develop the ability to see curses in life and death scenarios. And with the Surge quirk, Shigaraki would have had no problem tracking it.
So seeing Mahito wouldn't have been an issue. With that out of the way, we can jump into
Okay, that makes sense.
This was no contest. Despite the disaster curses being able to destroy entire cities with their cursed energy, Shigaraki scaling to Deku and Bakugo meant he was calculably millions of times stronger.
He was faster too, considering he could react to light beams, while Mahito's Black Flash capped out at nearly 1,000 times the speed of sound. Nothing to scoff at, but Shiggy was thousands of times faster. Shigaraki takes stats.
But survivability was a little trickier to figure out.
Yep, in terms of raw durability, Shigaraki was a lot tougher, and his ability to generate new flesh meant that he could heal any wounds he might receive super easy.
However, Mahito is a curse and is immune to the kind of overwhelming physical damage Shigaraki could dish
Yeah, that's
out.
what I was saying.
Not only that, Mahito's regenerative ability via idle transfiguration meant that he'd come back from anything short of spiritual damage.
Considering Mahito's unique curse body, he should actually get the edge in survivability.
Which presents
how do you
a
not survive?
crucial question. Could Shigaraki even kill a curse like Mahito in the first place?
Or would Mahito's unkillability give him the time he needed to eventually put Shiggy down with idle transfiguration?
It all comes down to their powers.
Shigaraki had a lot more
Okay,
variety with all of the crazy quirks all for one had collected over all the years, but none that we know of could properly kill a curse. That didn't mean idle transfiguration was a surefire bet either, though.
Of all things, Shigaraki's vestiges served as a spiritual shield from the effects of idle transfiguration. The fact that Mahito could not avoid targeting Sukuna while attacking Yuji meant that he couldn't target specific souls inside a person.
And Shiggy has hundreds of soul-like entities inside of him. Sure, each one down means he loses a quirk, but that's more than enough time to land a single hit with Decay, especially considering how much faster Shiggy is.
And Mahito has no way to defend against Shigaraki's primary quirk. Decay has affected spiritual beings in the past. Again, vestiges.
Really?
In fact, he was able to damage
Actually, I
Deku's
think I
vestige
missed
and
that.
have that damage transferred to the Deku in the real world.
Mahito may be made of spirit energy, but he still has a physical form. In fact, sorcerers that couldn't naturally target the soul were able to fight him on even footing. No reason to think Shiggy wouldn't decay him like everyone else.
Giving Shigaraki the third and final edge. It was a unique duel to the death.
Okay, so the results are definitely seem a lot more sensible. Shigaraki's far stronger, he has a larger arsenal and array of powers. The vestige protected him from idle transfiguration, though this would remove one of his quirks, and he also had an inferior regeneration results to Mahito. And Mahito's regeneration made him nearly impossible to kill, though Decay could target his soul and kill him, which is something I did not expect. And he's also far slower and weaker and couldn't individually target Shigaraki's own soul. Okay, that makes a lot of sense, and that's very interesting. Very, very interesting.
But Shigaraki's overwhelming fight, unstoppable powers, and deadly decay spelled the end for the disaster curse.
Nothing else to say. You really gotta hand it to Shigaraki.
The winner is Tomura Shigaraki.
Next time on Death Battle.
Oh, what's next? Interesting. I got Earth.
Subscribe and join
Master Chief versus Doomslayer. Ain't no way. This is it's the rematch fight. Hells yeah. Let's go on this. It's gonna be hype. That's gonna be hype. It's gonna be so hype. Well, that was the fight. Not gonna lie to you, it was actually pretty interesting fight to get into. And I'm not gonna lie, I actually did kind of enjoy the fight in a way. It was actually very interesting to watch, trying to see two characters who I hardly know a lot about go up against each other and learned definitely a lot about these characters. So I hope you enjoyed this fight too. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. I'll see you guys later.